Okay, I'm gonna go through some British Columbia Sasquatch witness sightings. This first one is from Vancouver Island, and it's from an old Jod Bindernagel documentary or video, so it's kind of cool. Here, check this out.
Out, eh? And I was throwing it over a little bluff there, eh? And each time when I'd come back out, I'd smell something real funny, eh? I went further on the road, eh? On the boardwalk there, and I stopped and I seen this big creature, eh? Or standing right where you're standing, eh? And I stood there 3 minutes, like he was just standing not too far from that stump over here, eh? And that's where I seen him. It's when he was facing the other way, eh? I stood here 4 or 5 minutes until when he seen me, eh? When he turned around, he just took off, eh?
Could you see the ears?
Oh no, he was too hairy for me to see, eh?
Oh, is that right, eh? Too hairy to see the ears.
That's pretty much all the clips. They don't really say much more about the story, but it's kind of cool and interesting. And this next one is also from Vancouver Island, and this is the couple who's responsible for the famous viral video of the Sasquatch on Vancouver Island. And here's him talking about it himself.
Describing what we saw back in August 2013 on our drive back from Port Renfrew. So this is going to link in with Wendy's Bigfoot video, which we think could have possibly been a Bigfoot. We leave the decision to you guys. So back in August 2013, Wendy and I were driving back from Port Renfrew, our very first trip ever to Port Renfrew. And Wendy loves to hike. So, and there's a lot of creeks and streams, little rivers flowing beside the road where we were driving. And she says, you know, why don't we go for a little hike beside one of those streams? So we pulled down off the side of the road. We walked down the stream, and the stream was quite nice. It wasn't flowing very much because it was very dry, dry summer, of course, and very little water going through the stream. So you could actually walk across stream to the other side. And what we could see was probably a deer trail or an animal trail. And Wendy, being adventurous, she says, why don't we go in a little ways into the forest and go for a little hike? And I really was kind of reluctant, but anyway, I was following her, and she had her camera. I always bring my camera everywhere I go. Unfortunately, this time, it was either the camera chip that was full or my battery was dead. So I left my camera in the vehicle. And I really wish I would have had my camera with me and it was working at the time, because maybe I could have even shot a longer video of what we saw that day. So we got into the forest about 200 feet. I'm guessing it was about 200 feet. And we could hear branches breaking ahead of us. So we're thinking, okay, maybe there's a deer or something up there, or it could be a bear, it could be a mountain lion. And Wendy was ahead of me. And she turns around and she points. And I looked up into the distance, way in the distance. It was about 75 to 100 feet ahead of us. You could see something in the distance. At first we thought it was a bear, but it seemed more bipedal. So it seemed more upright. It appeared to have kind of a conish type head. So you watch the video and you decide. I know there's a lot of skeptics out there. I'm just telling you what we saw that day on our little hike in the bush near Port Renfrew. There was actually kind of a musty smell, wasn't there? It wasn't strong. I would say it was kind of subtle. I don't know if bears stink. I mean, somebody says, oh, it was a black bear. I don't think it was a black bear. I've seen black bears before.
No, it wasn't black.
It didn't. It seemed quite big. And she's looking through the camera and zooming in on this thing. I'm seeing it from a distance. But it appeared to be quite big, and it seemed to have shoulders on it. That's what it looked like to me. So she titled it Bigfoot Sighting near Port Renfrew. But underneath you can see possible Bigfoot sighting she's written. So this video is going to link into that one. Watch the video, Bigfoot Sighting near Port Renfrew. Tell us what you think. I'm just telling you what we saw that day. And we were lucky enough we could actually get across the stream because it was, you know, barely flowing. And this is what she captured on video that day. Thank God Wendy had her camera. The reason she's put the video on just now, and she didn't put it on back in 2013, is because Wendy did not have a YouTube channel back then. I had a YouTube channel, and this is her video. This is her old camera she shot it with. And maybe with her new camera, she would even have a better zoom lens with this Canon. So during the process of moving into our place here, here on the north end, her chip got misplaced during the move. So she lost this camera chip, which this video was on. So it's lost for several years. She just relocated. She just located the video.
Just
located the video. Thank God, the camera chip with the video on it. And she's looking through, she says, oh, Joe, look at this. This is that Bigfoot video we shot back there. So she put it on her YouTube channel. It seems to be getting a lot of views. Most of the time I see thumbs up. There's going to be some thumbs down because there are skeptics out there. But please leave your comment and tell us what you think of this video. We're not 100% sure of what we saw that day. Maybe it was a bear walking on its hind legs. But to me, it didn't seem like a bear. And and to her as well. And it disappeared. It just, that's why she stopped videotaping. And once it got out of sight, we got out of sight. We left fast and we were quiet. We were very quiet. It didn't hear us, thank God, whatever it was.
Because we didn't know what it was.
We didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I thought, oh my God, it's
so
gonna
you
come
decide
at us.
on the video. And like I say, leave your comments. And I find the comments interesting, whether they're the skeptics out there dissing it or the people that are giving it thumbs up. All right? So anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I want to let you know that I do believe in Bigfoot. Wendy believes in Bigfoot, and there's been a lot of sightings on Vancouver Island. It is a hot spot on the Big Island, especially on the Pacific Rim, on the West Coast and these areas, and even in the Cowichan Valley and stuff like that. So you watch and subscribe and enjoy Wendy's videos. She's always uploading interesting stuff in here, mostly pertaining to gardening, but luckily that day she happened to capture whatever she did on video, and maybe you can tell us what it is. You
And
Bigfoot experts out there. We're not Bigfoot
hikes.
experts. We're not Bigfoot experts, okay?
So that's super cool. It seems very genuine and just like a really cool, unique experience. Everyone's seen the video who's interested in Bigfoot. And yeah, the video is very interesting. It's really, like, you can get a good look at something and it's just very hard to tell what that something is. And this next one is also from Vancouver Island, and I really like this guy's story. It was on Monster Quest back in the day.
It's just a massive, massive thing. As big as a bear, you know, easily. But it wasn't a bear, it had human features.
Rob Wilson's story was driving west on the highway that crosses the island.
At a place called Maureen Creek, I'd just gone over the bridge when I saw through the trees what I thought was a bear. But when I rounded the corner in my car, I slowed down and saw what I can only describe as a large, hairy man who looked sort of caveman-like, if you wish, or sort of a Neanderthal features.
The river, thick with salmon, was a perfect feeding spot for this enormous creature.
He was crouched down on the tree with his hand in the river and as if he was going to catch a fish. It was so surreal that I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, but I could see very, very clearly.
That guy's account is very, very cool, man. If that was the only Sasquatch story there ever was, that's so interesting what he saw. And he actually goes on to swear on the Bible later. Like, not like literally, but he just says, like, he's like, I would swear on the Bible if there was one here, and I'm a religious person. So that's, I really like that guy's testimony, and it would be so cool to hear more. But just like, yeah, what an interesting thing to see. And here's another one from that same documentary series, Monster Quest on History Channel. And this one, there's actually 3 or so people that witnessed this Sasquatch on the island for like 40 minutes. Very interesting sighting. Very credible.
The crew of this fishing boat was traveling along the isolated eastern coast of the island.
A few of us decided to go to Village Island and, fish for crab and prawns and that. I was cooking crab out on the back deck. I'm chowing on it and, you know, just having fun.
Then they noticed something very unusual.
That particular day, there was no wildlife, no nothing. And previous days before that, there was bears, there was birds, there was all kinds of wildlife there. And we thought it was a bit strange, but never really thought too much about it.
And the one thing that, just as soon as he got into that bay, the wind was blowing and the smell that came out was phenomenal. I've never smelt anything like it in my life.
When darkness fell, the source of the smell suddenly appeared on the shoreline.
Me and Tom went up on top of the bridge of the seine boat. We flicked on the spotlight and we caught it as it came out of the bush right on the point. It was crouched down and it was hiding from the spotlight. And these big, long, elongated red eyes, you know. The body was human-like. There's no denying that. It was probably 9 or 10 feet tall. And weight, I don't know, probably 400 pounds.
They watched the massive creature for almost an hour from the safety of their boat.
It was kind of an eerie feeling. I'm an avid hunter. I've seen bear, I've seen cougar. I know for sure it was not a bear.
One of the fishermen had his gun nearby, but he was not tempted to take a shot.
The native legends say that if you ever did harm one of them or shot one of them or whatever, that within 7 years you would die. But it never even crossed my mind. There's no way. I mean, once I realized what it was, I would never even consider that.
It was getting darker and the moon come up, and then as he walked around into the bay, and it took his time, and then he crouched down and grabbed some cockles, and you could hear him break them open and then start eating away at these cockles.
Suddenly, the creature disappeared from view.
It took him 3 strides to do like 30 yards. It's just bam, bam, gone into the bush. Like, wow, I can't even walk that fast.
That's another one of my favorites, just because there's 3 people on this boat, and they all are watching this thing for, they said, over a half an hour, which is just amazing. So it's a really good testimony. One of the best. And this next one is also from Vancouver Island, and very interesting. Check it out.
Was out putting his 4x4 through its paces on a forest road when he pulled in at the top of the mountain to check out the spectacular early evening view. But as he turned to an area of recently logged trees, he saw something he couldn't believe.
It looked like your typical picture of a Sasquatch that you'd see on a commercial. It had the flat face, the long draped hair, his arms were down by his knees. And it popped up from behind that stump, just kind of came up. They had moved up into about that range, and I just kind of laughed it off, you know? You don't expect to see something like that walking on 2 legs through the bush. So we got out of the truck, I picked up some rocks and I threw them off the corner of my Jeep, and then from the back corner of my vehicle, something yelled at us. Sounded like 20 dogs perfectly in sync, barking at once. It's kind of like a punch in the back of the head. And that's when we both kind of got scared and drove out of here.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed those, and I'll be uploading more stuff like this all the time because I love this topic and subject, and yeah, there's so much interesting stuff out there.